Everyone. Today we are going to present final project assignment for cloud computing for enterprise. In this presentation we are going to discuss the cloud migration business case, which we are going to go through executive summary, description of the cloud, basic capability of the cloud, advantages and disadvantages, economic implication, business requirement and SWOT analysis. As the bank grows, the capacity of the existing on-premises data center are reaching its limit, and shifting to the cloud is a potential solution to resolve this issue by taking advantage of the cloud computing. This presentation will discuss the fundamental capability of the cloud computing benefit, drawback, and implication. Also, to evaluate the advantage, disadvantages, opportunity, and the risk, we will conduct a SWOT analysis. What is the cloud computing? Cloud computing, as defined by NIST, is a model that enables convenient and on-demand access to the shared pool of computing resources that can be rapidly provisioned and released with minimal cost to several customers and clients. So here we are talking about the cloud capability, measured service based as you go. So this model, like, we will use it to pay only for what we are utilizing from the cloud provider, rapid elasticity, so the services or the service will be scale up and scale down based on the dynamic changes of the business requirement. On demand services, so the services will be provisioned through the service catalog to the customer, and this all will be like through dedicated process. Broad network access, so the services will be accessible wideward through the internet, and resource pooling, where the resource will be like allocated for the customer and redistributed the resource computing based on the requirement of the customer. Advantages, there is many advantages of the cloud we are talking about, from the scalability perspective, cost efficiency, because you pay as we pay or for the services we are utilized for, and there is no capex model. We will pay only for the services. Improve security, enhance disaster recovery, since the data center are distributed across different country and different region. Remote access, user they can access it from anywhere, from anywhere, anytime. And collaboration, which can add several like SaaS tool. They add the value to continue for business continuity. The disadvantages of the cloud computer, here we are limited for like the dependency on the internet. Most of the SaaS services require internet to access the services. So in case of the internet not available, the service now will not be able to use it. So this to maintain the access to the services, we have to have a reliable internet access. Data privacy, which is the concern, since the data will be distributed across the data center different regions. This will raise a concern from privacy perspective, and from regulation perspective and compliance. And again, we have limited control on the cloud services, since the cloud provider has the more responsibility to maintain the infrastructure in IaaS, and when it goes up to the PaaS and SaaS, so the customer visibility and control on the cloud will be limited. Economic analysis for cloud migration. Here, when we are talking about cost analysis, so we have to consider the following aspect. For the cost associated with the migrating of the infrastructure to the cloud, which include professional services fee, data transfer fees, and like maybe service provider fee. Cost associated to maintain subscription to the cloud services. So when we start like migrating and building landings to migrate the services to the cloud, so we have to consider this cost. The other cost we have to consider it also, reoccurring cost of these services. In addition, like we have to consider the total TCO between the on-premise services and the cloud services and the ROI. So based on our based on the infrastructure we are going to migrate to the cloud, we consider the following costs: the hardware cost, software cost, operational cost, cooling and power cost, and the cloud cost and training cost. So these all factors need to be we consider it in our calculation in the next slide. So here, based on our calculation and provided information, we used the public cloud provider calculation and TCO, and we get this calculation, and we based on that we did our analysis, and we find that the total cost of the on-prem data center, it costs around 10 million, where the same infrastructure will be hosted for 1 year will cost us the 6 million, where we ROI it's around 30%, 39%, which is like a positive and give us indication to migrate the services to the cloud. Here, like the study shows, like managing the setup on a premises is more expensive than the cloud, and the ROI show that the advantage of the cloud migration are greater than the expenses of the cloud itself. So here, like as an indication, we get like 100% reduction in the capex, 100% reduction in the software cost, like 50% improvement in the security and compliance, and 50% reduction in the IT staffing. So business requirement. So the following list of the business requirement that the bank should be considered from the cloud migration. So here we are talking about cloud strategy should be in a place to overall the business objective and align with the business requirement. Moving to the cloud, we have to consider the compliance and security. We have to list what compliance we have to comply with, and we have to consider as a business requirement, we have to consider the scalability and availability, performance of the services, of course the business continuity and disaster recovery to ensure the service resiliency in case of any disaster, and we have of course to ensure the integration with the legacy system and the compatibility with the existing bank system to ensure like a smooth and smooth transition from on-prem to cloud. And as a final, also we have to put in place like a well-defined cost management strategy to ensure the costs are controlled and optimized. SWOT analysis. Here we are evaluating the strengths, weaknesses, and threats for moving the cloud. So based on our analysis, we find this is strengths: cloud infrastructure capability and adaptability, cost saving and reducing the capex, improve security and compliance, enhance the business and disaster recovery. Also utilizing cutting edge feature and technology. The weaknesses and challenges from moving the cloud, like dependency on the cloud service provider, potential risks of the data privacy, cloud infrastructure complexity, it might be increased with several service provider, risk with the vendor lock-in, and the requirement to have qualified employee. The opportunity in the cloud, here we are talking about expansion to the new market, creation of the fintech sector, cloud solution integrating with the AI and machine learning cloud capability, improve data security and backup, provide the customer with digital services from anywhere, anytime. Also the risk we have it like the threat and the risk we have to cloud computing, data breach, it could be happen, possibility of interruption due to the network or instability or service provider instability, risk also with law and regulation compliance, also exposure to DDoS, because since all the services will be hosted on the internet. So that's all, and thank you for your listening time. Thank you.